Should you pay off your mortgage early? Is it better to get a 15-year mortgage or a 30-year mortgage? Living debt-free is an attractive prospect, especially for those of us with a lot of debt. Trust me, I have $300,000 in debt, so hit the like button to help me pay off those student loans. And to anyone with very little or zero debt, that probably sounds like a scary place to be. It really isn't though. But it's still plain to see why some people would want to pay off what, for most people, is their biggest debt, a mortgage, as soon as possible. To make the best decision for yourself, it really just requires that you understand opportunity cost, assets or so-called good debt, and crunch the numbers to make your own decision. Opportunity cost is the expense you take on or the benefit that you give up when you make one choice over another. When you decide to take the job as a cook at Cheddar's for $15 an hour instead of being a chef at a 5-star restaurant for $25 an hour, because the commute to Cheddar's is 10 minutes but the commute to the fancy place is an hour, your opportunity costs are $10 an hour and 50 minutes a day, respectively. Both deserve to be taken into consideration. One is financially tangible, but the other not as much. Maybe you could do something to make money with that extra 50 minutes a day, but let's be real, for most of us that just means you either would or would not be sleeping in for another 50 minutes. Probably. For celebrities or high-paid professionals though, that 50 minutes can mean a lot more. Michael Jordan could probably mow his own lawn if he felt like it. Or he could have someone record him endorsing a charity and indirectly end up raising $1 million to keep an orphanage open. I don't know about you, but if I was Michael Jordan, I'd be paying someone else to mow my grass. Even normal people who get paid well, like doctors, lawyers, and engineers, just have more dollars to gain by their time, so they are more likely to pay money to have someone else clean their pool rather than do it themselves. Another opportunity cost might be when I choose to go out with Jessica instead of Lisa. So the opportunity cost in paying off your mortgage early by either having a shorter term mortgage or by making extra and bigger payments on the 30-year mortgage is primarily a matter of what those extra dollars saved at the end of each month or the mortgage payoff can accomplish for you. In basic investing terms, most anything you buy is either an asset or a liability. A liability is something that loses you money. Not necessarily normal consumer spending like getting monsters at the convenience store. More like the car or boat you purchase, both of which lose value over time and therefore in a resale, even simplifying to ignore taxes, run at a net loss in most cases. An asset, on the other hand, is any item which appreciates in time, meaning it has more value. It might pay you money regularly, like a dividend stock or a rental property, or it might gain you value by appreciating like stocks and the home you own will both generally do. In some cases, you can turn a liability into an asset, like when a rental car company buys a cost-efficient vehicle to make it a rental. If you'd like to try doing that, check out the Hire Car and Turo links in the description. It's not an affiliate link. I'm not going to make any money if you do decide to use those resources, but I do want to empower you to make your finances the best that they can be. Welcome to the math party. We're going to do a bunch of 8th to 10th grade level algebra to decide if, over an example 35-year time span, you should pay off your mortgage early by way of getting a 15-year mortgage instead of getting a 30-year mortgage. I chose that timeline deliberately because YouTube tells me that most of my viewers are between 25 and 34 years old, so this timeline gets us pretty close to the socially accepted, normal retirement age of 65. Perusing my hometown, I saw that sample 3-bedroom, 2-bath properties can be found for $130,000 to $180,000. But we'll use $200,000 just to have a round number to make the math easier. Using Wells Fargo current APR, link in the description, a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.71%, and a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage APR is 2.969%. We won't be running the percentage points in this case, because I don't want anyone to claim that I was unfair one way or the other. Naturally, the rate you get can vary based on your lender and your credit and the particular type of loan that you get. In this case, this is just a basic fixed-rate conventional mortgage. For the 15-year mortgage at 2.969% APR, you pay $248,073 in total. Not taking into account taxes and insurance, this property was costing you $1,378.18 every month. This will be important later. With the 30-year mortgage at 3.719% APR, you pay $332,177 in total. Clearly, a lot more interest, but you're also only paying $922.72 each month. Again, not taking into account taxes and insurance. So, let's pretend that $1,378.18 is truly all that you can afford and not a penny more. This means that in the first scenario, you are investing no money besides the equity paydown and the appreciation that you get, which we will be ignoring for this example because you are getting the same appreciation and 100% equity paydown in both examples. After the first 15 years then, you move this number, $1,378.18, into a well-diversified stock fund that tracks the S&P 500, averaging out a 7 to 8% return after inflation. We'll be generous and call it 8%. This means that after 20 years of stock investing, which in this case is the end of our 35-year period, you now have $198,290.40 available to you in liquid assets, in addition to the paid-off house. In the 30-year mortgages case, it gets a little more complicated. Since we know you can afford $1,378.18 each month, but this longer payoff term means you only need to pay $922.72 each month, we can safely assume that you will be responsible and invest the difference of $455.46 for the duration of the loan in that same index fund tracking the S&P 500 at 8% annually above inflation. This means that after 30 years, you have a paid-off house and, wait for it, $641,538.45 in liquid assets. Now, for the next 5 years, we start putting that full $1,378.18 back into that same stock fund, tracking the S&P 500 at 8% above inflation, and you end up with a full $1,043,161.32 to go along with your paid-off house. Don't hate, appreciate. The math does not lie. Taking a higher interest rate mortgage for a longer payoff term nets you, in this example, $844,870.92 more, in addition to the paid-off house around the normal retirement age of 65. The reason this works is because mortgages, especially right now, are cheap money with low interest rates, not much higher than the rate of inflation of the US economy, and far less than stock returns. Also, trust me, the math works out nicely for the house's inflation as well. And even better if you rent it out for cash flow, free equity paydown, as well as awesome tax benefits. See the link tagged here to learn more about that from my first ever YouTube video. all of which makes owning a property, with very little exception, an asset that makes you money. Now, while there has not ever been a 20-year period of time when the overall stock market did not trend upward, it is true that this isn't a certainty. Technically speaking, the entire New York Stock Exchange could collapse. It's just never happened before. So, if your risk tolerance is really low, or if you have a shorter time horizon for your investments, I can understand why you would forego the very likely opportunity cost of high returns and instead take the guaranteed gains you make by paying off debt. Because paying off a 5% loan is kind of like getting a 5% return on your money. Paying off your mortgage faster is a personal question, but generally speaking, it boils down to how disciplined you are as an investor. If you're going to do the right and responsible things with the extra money left over every month, then you should not pay off your mortgages and even other low-interest debt a day earlier than you absolutely have to. But not if you know yourself and that you will probably just spend the extra money on having DoorDash bring you Denny's on a Saturday morning. Not speaking from experience or anything. But hey, if you are going to use DoorDash though, consider checking the other video tagged here to make this as cheap for yourself as possible. You can also check the description for links to saving tools and stock trading tools. And of course, these two options I presented are based on cold calculated math. I am generally very responsible with my money, so the 30-year option most often applies to me. But I've also ordered delivery before, and I remember when one of my student loans broke below $10,000, I decided to pay it off in full, despite the low 3.99% interest rate. Because I just hated that debt. It made me feel better, and I still don't regret it. My other two student loans are slightly higher interest, so I think when these drop below $10,000 or maybe $20,000, I'll probably kill those a bit early as well, even though my investments have been beating the student loans interest rates. Right now, I've got about $70,000 left in student loans. But I don't think I'll ever pay off my mortgages early. If finding new real estate deals that fit my criteria proves slow, to where I just accumulate a lot of cash on the sidelines, I'll probably pay off a HELOC early and really just hoard the rest in a high-yield savings account to make the next real estate deal easier. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.